Alright, hey everyone. Really early in the AM in Argentina. I'm not gonna get tired of saying that, I guess. But I just saw the third episode of How I Met Your Mother. No, just kidding. Of Moon Knight. It was a good one. I mean, this is the third episode. I can safely assume that we're like in the middle of it right now. Like it has 6 episodes if I'm not mistaken. I think I'm not mistaken, but 6 episodes. Third episode. Pretty much we're in the middle act. If I see it as a movie, this would be probably considered as the middle act, where the nemesis, or at least the Ethan Hawke's character, gets what part of what he wants. Now, I'm pretty sure that what's left in the following episodes, I'm pretty sure the 6 would be probably the epic battle and whatnot, whereas I think that the 4th and the 5th will probably be about searching, trying to release Khonshu from his prison, because if you've seen the episode, you saw that by the end of it, Khonshu ended up being imprisoned by the gods. We actually got to see a glimpse of the other gods as well, and it's rather interesting, this whole story with the gods and everything. I think it's rather interesting, but our main stars probably are the Khonshu god and Amit god, which I really hope that we can see a little bit about. I was reading a little bit about this god, and I'm actually really looking forward to. As I've said before many times, I'm not a Moon Knight expert. I have not read the comics, so I don't know exactly what it looks like if actually Amit has a suit like Moon Knight does, or at least Khonshu does. I'm going British now. I'm gonna let Steven in charge here for a while. I like that. It reminded me the duality, or the relationship of Steven and Marc. It reminded me a lot of the Hulk and Bruce Banner. That back and forth with Bruce Banner and the Hulk. I like that. It reminded me of that. But at the same time, it felt that sometimes it was a little bit used too much. The all the back and forth, it felt like it was like, okay, we get it, yeah, we get it. And it was for my part, the way I saw it, the way I felt the episode, or the way I thought about it when I saw it was, okay, are there mirrors like everywhere now? There are reflections of everything, even the bloody pyramid of Giza has apparently walls made of glass. It's not glass, but it's probably made in Marvel, of course, made of an element, or at least a material that it can reflect your own persona. It has you can see your reflection in it, basically. Well, I think it's bollocks, that part. I was wondering who does the Khonshu voice, because we heard a little bit about it before, but I didn't wonder this before. Who's the person who's actually doing the voice of Khonshu? And it turns out to be, actually, he's a very well-known actor, Oscar winner actor nonetheless, and now I've forgotten his name. Great, that's fantastic. Yeah. Why did I forget his name? F. Murray Abraham, if I'm not mistaken. And again, if I am, I'm sorry. So, right, so, and he, because it it sounded familiar. It sounded very very familiar, and I think that you can, if I'm not mistaken, he was in Billions. He was in, I think he was in Billions. He was in, you know, a lot of big productions, and he won the Oscar nonetheless. So he's an amazing actor, and his voice is just wonderful. It's really it's really like deep voice, and I really like to hear when actors have like that deep voice and sort of, yeah. Anyway, that's weird fact. But back to the episode. What other thing I can think of, like, right now, quickly, right after I saw the episode. I like Layla. I like Layla well enough. I think there's chemistry between the Marc or Steven and Layla. You know, the characters, they do have chemistry. Layla, at the beginning, we get to actually discover a little bit more about her persona, herself, about a little bit of her backgrounds, the fact that her father was murdered, that Marc actually has more to hide, that would make anyone think he's not worthy of love. So I'm looking forward to see what other discovery we make along the way. So far, we only know that he's got like a split dual personality, and that personality is Steven, but he also can speak with Khonshu. So we don't know if there's something going on there, like if there might be a third identity coming up. It might sound that way. A third identity that might be worse than what he wants to tell the world, and which is why he's keeping it a secret. Either that, or he did something really awful under one of those identities that, you know, would scare Leila off. Now, back to Layla. I liked her character, but like big part of this episode, it brought me back to The Mummy, the first one. She reminded me a lot of Evelyn or Evie O'Connell, right? Well, formerly had a different last name, but I don't remember it right now. She's a librarian. Just brought me back a lot. It reminded me a lot of The Mummy, which for me is like the ultimate Agent Egypt movie, and there's like none better than that. And it had, I felt like her personality, her character, you know, was similar in certain ways to that of Evelyn O'Connell. Probably not in the first movie though. In the second movie, she's, you know, more of a badass. She's like, yeah, and she has that. She kind of does have those badass qualities, you know, fighting off bad guys as well, or just guys, whatever. So it reminded me a lot like her. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's no duo like Rick and Eve in adventure. When it comes to adventure movies, for me, they're like the OTP couple. I mean, Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. Jesus, what a great pairing! What a great pairing! But anyway, I progressed with this episode. There was a part that it actually made me laugh, and yes, and it wasn't all the jokes that Marvel usually pulls off on these series, or pretty much their catalog of movies and series. And it was the part when they were the gods united. They were all together there in that pyramid, and Marc is about to punch Ethan Hawke's character. Then I forgot. Oh man, I'm so forgetful. I'm really bad at names. Either way, Ethan Hawke's character. Of course, that guy. Yeah. Yeah. And he's about to punch him, and the gods won't allow it. And he says, we will not tolerate violence in this place or this. And I thought, man, it feels like all of those gods are like Disney executives, and I'm sorry for this, are like Disney executives, and the fact that it's like we won't tolerate violence in this house. It feels like they say that in all of their productions. So far, and I'm saying so far, out of all the 3 episodes, I still think the first one is my favorite. And out of all of these 3 episodes, Kevin Feige, I'm still waiting on that bloodshed you said, or the rating. Maybe we should keep waiting. I'm not saying that there won't be, but I'm still waiting on all the violence, and there were a few fighting scenes where there could have been more realistic takes on certain punches that will, if somebody punches you in real life, you would start bleeding, because that actually happens in real life, right? Again, Marvel or Disney or this type of production so far have never been about being realistic, more about taking care of family image, make it family friendly, I guess. This episode did have some violence. It did, and it kind of broke my heart to see Gaspard Ullier. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. His last name. The French actor who was late in this. It was later in this episode, and he died recently. And I was like, oh, Gaspard. Man, and yeah, no, it kind of like broke my heart a little. But anyway, again, look, Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke still performances. I have nothing to complain about, and I have nothing but the high praise, knowing that Oscar Isaac is from Guatemala, and that he can pull off an American accent and a British accent nonetheless. I think it's just wonderful. They're both very talented. They all are very talented. I don't want to say that they're better than the rest, but my respects to them and their chemistry and their opposites fighting. I think it's they're great co-stars. And finally, the episode, there were certain parts of where he's like chasing. He's in Cairo and he's trying to look for where the bug is, where there are certain shots where he's chasing them that felt a bit disordered. Like it, I don't know, like they didn't feel like well shot, like they had planned to shoot that. Like it just they just showed it, but it felt messy. That's what I'm saying. It felt messy at points. The shooting, like the movement of the camera, or the pretty much the frame of what they were showing. It sort of felt a little messy. But that was just how I perceived it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm mistaken. And but other than that, it's a solid episode. It's a good episode. It had more action in it. A little bit. We're getting to see more about these characters. We're getting to learn a few more things, and I liked it. I think it was a solid episode. So yeah. Anyway, just that. Thank you guys for watching all the way to the end, and see you next Wednesday.